What's triggering your triggers? So many times I see people reacting, almost overreacting, and reacting in a way that is so over the top in regards to what it is they're responding to. And I think that happens a lot because we have long held emotional traumas from our childhood that we haven't dealt with. And so as we're going through our daily lives, something happens and we respond as if we're still that little kid, being hurt, being offended, being disregarded, being demeaned, being belittled. And until you stop and think, why exactly am I responding this way? You're still going to have the same problems with your relationships. They're going to end the same way. You're going to have the same problems over and over again until you deal with the underlying issues. And the underlying issue could be anything from your parents making you feel worthless. You might have had some sexual abuse or trauma in your childhood. Someone might have put you down, might have any number of things that could have happened. But as adults, our job is to think about what is it that's making me to react this way? What's causing me to have this over-the-top reaction? And that's where you get the triggers. Some new behavior from somebody, some new interaction triggers something from your past. And unless you're willing to deal with that, you're going to continue having the same problems. You're going to continue to have the same crappy relationships. You're going to continue to have the same issues following through your adulthood. And when people say, well, that's just how I am, well, that's a real cop-out. Because that's just how you're letting yourself be. That's the person who hasn't looked inside. That's the person who hasn't taken the time for some introspection and said, wow, why is it that I react that way? I had a friend who recommended a movie to me. So, okay, I'll check it out. I watched about 10 minutes of it and I didn't like it, so I turned it off. And a couple of days later, we were talking, and I said, oh, I looked at the movie and I didn't like it. And he really took that personally. Now, this was a recommendation for a movie. It wasn't me commenting on his life, the kind of person he was, but that's really how he took it. And I just thought, wow, that is just really, that's a strange reaction. So I asked him, I said, what did that trigger? Because I made a simple comment. It was just about a movie. It wasn't a commentary on you as a human being. And when he thought about it, he said, you know, my mom, when I was a kid, I would tell her how I was feeling, and she would completely disregard me. She would make me feel as if I was worthless, as if my thoughts didn't count. So the minute he told me that, yeah, okay, that made great sense. Why what I said triggered that experience from his childhood. Once you learn what your triggers are, then you can unravel them. What's triggering your triggers?